Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking with Italia Rico. Italia is one of my fellow students at Rollins College. We met a year ago when we were taking a cooking class, and her mom came and cooked for us. It was quite lovely. So today we're going to be talking about a rather serious topic, Daca, or Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals. It was an initiative started by Obama in 2012, and it basically grants certain individuals temporary legal status in the U.S. Italia is a Daca student, and she's going to tell us a little bit about what Daca is, the misconceptions surrounding Daca, and how we can help keep Daca alive. So, Italia, what does Daca allow you to do?
Yes, and thank you so much for having me.
Of course, yeah.
Yes, so what Daca gives you is a way to work. So work permit. It will give you a license so you can drive. And then you can save up for college, which is kind of what I did. Those are the main things. You do have a social, but everything can be taken away because if you don't renew every 2 years, if you don't pay the it's almost $500 for the application.
So it's $500 to renew your Daca status every 2 years?
Yes.
Okay. And is there any path to citizenship?
Not at all. And so now in November, even the program itself might not be renewable. It may be canceled by the Supreme Court decision.
And there's how many Daca individuals in the U.S. right now? Over half a million?
800,000.
Over 800,000.
So just to share my story,
yeah,
to better understand this topic, I was born in Colombia in the 90s during the whole narcotic war crisis, and my mom lost many of her family members due to this event. And so my parents said, you know what, let's fly to the United States, we'll have our visas, we'll do everything legal, we'll have a safer life for us and for our daughter, which was me. I was 8. I thought we were going to Disney. It's been a long Disney stay, honestly. But yeah, so we moved, and my parents applied for sponsorship through a company because my dad is a professional in his field. And we found the company, everything went well, we had our lawyers, but 9/11 occurred, the economy was harmed, the company had to close down, the lawyers left with our money, and then our visas expired. If you can just imagine how long an immigration process takes, it's really long, and then having all of this happening throughout, the process was stopped. We couldn't do anything. We were in debt with our friends who paid for all of those lawyer fees, and it's just everything's
So you're
expensive.
just trapped in limbo.
You're trapped in limbo, and that's why you hear that a lot in the news now, because we literally are trapped in a system that doesn't have a way for those who are trying to legally become part of this country.
Yeah.
But then going to the education side of it, I graduated from, I did all my elementary, all my middle school, high school in Georgia, and I graduated actually a few days before my high school graduation. My counselor said, you know, I don't think college is for you because your community, your undocumented community, you should probably just end up in the construction business or cleaning houses. That's usually what happens. And
Can I ask, when did you realize you were Daca?
My senior year.
So you didn't know beforehand. You didn't know that you were any different.
No, I felt so American because I was 8 and then suddenly I was almost 18. Like I was American inside. You know, I was born in Colombia, but the identity of a Colombian, if I were to go back to Colombia, I think I've missed out on a lot for the past 20 years. Because
you grew up as an American. You didn't even know that you were a Colombian citizen.
Exactly. So like this identity of Colombian, I don't know yet. It's my roots and I can learn about it online, but I don't know what the lifestyle is anymore.
So for 10 years, you didn't even know that you were Daca.
I had no idea. Why would my parents want to stress me with that, right? But I noticed I could barely take the SATs until finally I told someone, you know, I have a tax ID, can I just use that as my social number? And I did. Then I saw my friends driving and I couldn't get a license because, hey, I'm about to turn 18. And once I did that, I became an undocumented immigrant because Daca was non-existent.
Okay.
So then I graduated and I said, okay, so now I'm undocumented. What do I do? Wait, because there was nothing else to do.
I know you did some modeling.
Yes, and that's how I saved. I was scouted in high school, and then I said, you know what, that's my only option. So I modeled in Georgia for around, 2-3 years, and then I said, let me move to a place that's more of a melting pot of culture that has more maybe Hispanics, maybe other cultures. That way I don't feel such an outsider. And so I came here. I came to Orlando, and I was blessed. I did have to wait a few years, but the Daca came in 2012, and I applied. And then I applied to work at the international airport in Orlando with the gate agents in American Airlines. That was really fun, and stopping point. If you can find a job in the airport with the gate assist or the gate agents, I think it's one of the best and rewarding part-time jobs you could ever get.
Really?
Yeah, it's fast-paced. You get to meet so many people. You learn new languages. It's amazing.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and at the same time, so I worked there, and I studied full-time at Valencia College.
Okay.
And I earned my AA. But yes, you see there was around a 4 to 5 year gap between my high school and my actual college journey.
Okay. And also, you said that in Colombia, at least your father was a professional. He was an electrician, right? I'm just wondering, you're a professional, you're respected in your community, and then you come here and suddenly you don't have that status anymore.
Yes.
How did they deal with that psychologically? Like, not even financially, just psychologically, to go through that change?
Yeah, my parents left everything and everyone behind so I could have a future and I could probably survive. There were car bombs all the time, there were deflected bullets, and that's kind of repeating now because there's a lot of problems between the government and the guerrillas. So when we moved here, I'm sure they had a lot of struggles. They tried as a couple, and now as a result, they're not together, they're separated.
Didn't your family start employing American citizens?
Well, they started their own business knowing that they had a tax ID.
Yeah.
So my dad knew church members that even they had their socials, but they were unemployed for some reason. Right. And so he said, well, I need another hand for this job, so can you help me out and I'll pay you? And he would pay very well. So yes, we were employing other
citizens. So you employ other citizens.
Yeah.
You create jobs. Yeah. And so that's kind of like your past, and now in the present, there's that threat of DACA being repealed.
Yes.
So how are you dealing with that? Because I know that I'm dealing with a ton of stress just as a regular student trying to finish all my classes. And you have this added fear of just, DACA being repealed at any time. How do you go day to day and just kind of live and study and work and do everything else?
It's not easy. I have to be educating myself about legislature. I watch the news a lot. That sometimes increases stress, but also it tells me, okay, well, this changed, so now what can I do? State-wise, as our Congressman Soto said, Florida has been trying to do as much as they can to support DACA students. But right now, it really is more of a federal thing. It's the upper levels that can actually make a change and add a kind of pathway towards citizenship for us.
So what can voters do, and what can general citizens do to help protect DACA? I guess just vote and pay attention.
Well, that, and you can also support us in our activism. There are a lot of things that we are at risk of doing. So I wish I could go up to the White House and do a rally and, have my boards and say, I am American. I can show you how American I am, whatever that means. But it's risky because at any time, either because the government knows my family's information, that means I'm putting them on the spotlight. And then we're not the only immigrants. We have the undocumented immigrants. We have those TPS people. We have the Venezuelans, the refugees. I think if anything, like Congressman Soto said, we need an immigration reform, and that would fix so much within the system. We wouldn't have so many little groups, doing rallies and saying, I'm tired of not being able to care for myself. Even DACA recipients don't have affordable healthcare options. So I don't have a primary doctor. If you ask me, if I get sick, I wait it. If I'm really, really sick and I feel like it's life-threatening, I'll go through urgencies. But I know the ER is really expensive. So sometimes you just kind of wait until the last minute, and that's not healthy.
No.
So we would like to have allies in our, activism events. If your school, like Rollins College, has an event that deals with immigration or DACA and wants to talk about all the updated information, attend so you can be educated, not only for when you vote, but also when you realize, wait, I ignored something because I'm not living through it, so that's normal, but they are part of my community. And if I'm voting for a certain issue to be a priority, I know this now. You know, it's your decision, but at least you know this now.
Exactly, yeah.
Trump says he wants professionals. He wants immigrants that are professionals and that they know what they're doing and they're, you know, amazing. Wonderful. Well, guess what? DACA recipients are those incoming professionals that are graduating right now, and we have all the education that the United States is giving us. So what better immigrant than the one that you've been educating?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
There you go.
Well, thank you so much, Italia. It's been an honor to have you here. Yeah.
Thank you
It's
so
been lovely to
much.
talk to you, of course.
Aw.
All right, everyone, remember, educate yourselves and vote. It's not cool to not vote.